And 3, 2, 1, boom. And we're back with another episode of Crack Gamers. This episode brought to you by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com. And be sure to use offer code SoccerTees at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you want just the free stuff, check out zenroclothingco.com, Zenro Radio. Drop in a new playlist today, free playlists. So check that out. Also, if you're located in the Port Union area of Scarborough, Toronto, Canada, be sure to check out the Port Union Bakery. They've got delicious baked goods, baked fresh daily, and one of their award-winning items is the donut, voted #1 best donut in Scarborough. They've also got empanadas, which are consists of chicken, pork, tuna, spinach, and pineapple, all dietary restrictions accepted, peanut free facility. You're looking at me like that was a terrible ad. I didn't know how to segue into those flavors, but yeah, Vish is a big fan of the chicken
Empanadas.
yeah. What do you think of the spinach one? You didn't get that one?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, what one did your brother bring over that one
Well,
time?
he did get the spinach one, but I only took the chicken.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna pull that closer. Yeah. Oh, there was chicken.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And chicken's your favorite. Pork's
yeah.
my favorite, Vish. Pork's my favorite.
Okay, why are you saying it like it's trying to insult me?
I know. Okay, or one we can agree upon is tuna, because pescatarian.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
no religious affiliation on that one. All right. So, anyways, yesterday was Halloween. What do we think? Didn't really happen. I went for a quick walk with Bina and Tara, and like, there's nobody out. I didn't know it was canceled.
Oh, you mean like for kids?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't technically canceled. They're just recommending not to.
Oh, okay, and that's
I don't
why
think
nobody
they put
went
like an
out.
official cancel on it, but no one was doing it really.
Yeah, okay.
But I
get
saw
you.
like when I went in the morning, like after my swimming to the grocery store, like I've seen a couple people had it on. Like these are adults, not.
Oh
kids.
yeah, totally. Yeah, actually, on the feed, I saw like Jagmeet Singh and his wife dressing up as like
Yeah, well they're gonna
Star Wars characters, and
Right,
like,
yeah.
and then a lot of like famous people in the U.S. dressing up.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Like it always kind of felt like a regular day, but then going out and seeing that there was no one, it made it feel more like, oh, why do we even do this holiday? You know what I mean? Like,
It's not really a holiday.
kinda-
It's just a thing
or
for
like
kids. I think it's just generally a thing for kids, but adults
we
get into
say
it
we
too.
say that, but then there's all
Adults
those
get
adults
into it too.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just
I mean, technically, we did do the stream with the mask in the beginning.
yeah, but we were just following the
Yeah, the cultural norm
norm.
of
Yeah.
the time. But
There's nothing
yeah,
wrong with it. It's just fun, I guess.
yeah. But what marked?
Or it's more like that. It's a day where anybody can cosplay when
Cosplay,
when-
cosplay. Oh, that's so funny.
and no one gets judged.
You know what that is? That's like Anime North when we went that one
Yeah.
time.
But like but if you see them going to it, like why are you wearing the thing, right? Like
Right.
if you're not
But it's
knowing
like,
they're
dude,
going
it's
to
Halloween,
Anime North
so
or
it's like-
Comic Con, like you would think they're weird.
Yeah, that's so true. I didn't even think about that. Wow, that is so trippy. Actually, if you really think about what Halloween is, it's a societally accepted cosplay event.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
Trippy to think about. But then I also like find like like when we were like younger and Halloween was like a bigger thing, I felt like it was either a time for people to dress up like and go to like these house parties in like scantily clad,
Sure.
you know, or a time for like people to rob other people. Remember that? They were always like, "Oh, watch out."
Oh, there was.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I guess so.
Remember
I
we
mean,
were kids and they're like, "Oh, watch out, they're gonna rob you for candy."
I don't remember. Oh, yeah. I remember now vaguely.
Yeah.
But like, it's also like a good time for robbers because everyone's wearing masks.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Do you remember when Wob had tools on his head for that's when I remember the people in the alleyway and like we were like, "Oh, this kind of sketch," and the Wob's like, "Don't worry, I've got a hammer on my head." Like when he tied the tools around his head. Or the one time he wore he didn't even wear it. He had like a frame and he's like, "I'm a picture."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are clever. Those are funny. I feel like the extremely like over the top purchase ones are kind of that's just straight cosplay. I feel
Yeah,
like I feel like the other ones that Wob used to do were like trolls.
Mhm.
You know, shout out you Wob. You're the
Some
you're the
people make
king
their
of
own. Some people spend
costumes.
time and really make their own.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they do. I've seen that. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's like so intense. But that's what cosplayers do, right? They
Most of them do that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so it's you're not even purchasing it. You're just
you're building it.
it's a universal cosplay.
Hmm.
But what made Halloween extra special was Anderson Silva's last fight yesterday.
Hmm.
See this all right, I know I talk a lot about Khabib, but he retired on the top. Like
Yeah.
Anderson, you're like 45,
Yeah.
46 now, I think, and like that's intense. And he got dropped in the first like he got dropped twice. And the
Mhm.
second dropping was just like it was just bad.
Yeah.
Like his face was just bloodied up, and it was
was
just
it?
like, yeah. And the guy was crying at the end, and he was like saying, "I'm so sorry." His like fighter, because like we like not we all, but they all idolize Anderson.
Well, they all
Silva.
did. Yeah. I mean, those are he's fighting young people who were looking up to him.
Yeah, so he was apologizing to Anderson for like wrecking him,
Yeah.
and then Anderson was like no, thank you for making my last fight, blah blah. Like, but then at the end during the interviews, Dana White was saying like he'll never fight again. He shouldn't have
Yeah.
signed this one.
Yeah. That's
he's-
what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he was like, I let this one go because like it's Anderson. We'll let it. But then he's like, I'm never gonna let him fight again.
Okay.
And then Anderson was like, I might do another MMA fight. You can't say never. And it's just like, bro, you got wrecked on this one though.
Mhm.
It wasn't even a top 10 guy. Well, it was a top 10 actually.
Maybe
He
he's
was
just saying he like the never thing is just a strong word, but he probably won't. It's just
like, right.
like
Yeah.
never say never kind of thing.
It's so weird. Yeah, and then I also heard that Khabib might be doing. He might be going for the 30-0, but that's what Dana said. Like Khabib didn't say that. So like his dad always wanted 30-0 and then walk away.
So it depends. It's Dana to convince him. That's the thing there.
But the only fight that Khabib would have done is GSP.
Right.
But GSP's like old now. He's 39.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like GSP. I was watching the interview and he's saying like, if I do fight Khabib, I can't get down to that weight class. I'm too old now. So like I need to do it. It's got to be like a catch weight. So it won't be
Right.
for the title. It'll just be like an exhibition match kind of thing. That'd be kind of cool. Like
For fun.
yeah. Well, not fun. Well, yeah, for fun.
It's mooching.
essentially.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not for any belt or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But does he get a record? I mean, record in the does he? Does
He'll
it
get
count?
a loss. Yeah, he'll get a loss if
Okay.
he loses,
Okay.
or he'll get a win if he wins.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one too, because it's like, you did say,
Yeah.
But the thing is like, Dana was saying that his dad was saying to go for 30-0.
No, I know.
So
He's
even
gonna
they-
try to convince him with that.
Yeah, even
That's
though his
nice.
mom promised, he promised his mom.
Yeah.
So,
So it's
yeah.
because UFC still wants him. He brings in the huge crowd.
I know.
So it's to let him go at. If he can try to pull one more fight.
I know, true. That would be a huge money fight too, especially like the whole world will tune in.
I think
GSP
it'll be
versus
even
Khabib.
more. Yeah, it'll be even more because he was supposed to have retired.
Yeah,
He's coming back.
exactly. Yeah,
So it's like-
totally. But if
yeah.
it was like against like a regular guy, so like if he fought like another champion, like let's say he fought like Connor again or something,
Mm-hmm.
it would be like, like we've seen that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it has to be
No,
the
it
GSP fight
I think
or nothing.
so. Yeah, probably.
But that's what I like about Khabib. Like I saw this other interview and they're like, oh, would you, if Connor wins against Dustin Poirier, would you fight Connor again? And he's like, no, I don't want to give him this attention. Like
Yeah.
it's already done. I've beaten him. Like we're just gonna bring his name back into the spotlight. We don't need to do that. And he's like, even if they offer me like the entire UFC, I will not take this fight. So it's like, okay, that's cool. But if they offer him GSP, that'd be tough because like your dad said,
Nobody asked him that question.
he didn't do
after
any
the fight?
interviews after.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, he just left.
Oh.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's like, and then it's funny. I was seeing these memes like, Khabib has 25 million followers. UFC has 23 million. And then they're like, Khabib walked away bigger than the UFC. And I was like, oh, that's pretty clever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I would you be for or against that? I'd be for it if it's GSP. It's like your dad said, even though your mom said.
Well, it doesn't
The
really matter to
30
me.
now.
It's their choice, right? So
Yeah, that's true. No, but all right, but let's say it was like some like random. You'd
yeah,
be
no,
like,
I
what
don't
are
think
you
he
doing,
would
bro?
say yes to that. I think
True,
it would
yeah,
have to
yeah.
be GSP.
It would have to
for
be
him to
GSP.
say yes.
GSP's old. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
But then I don't know, why would GSP do it? He's also old. It's like,
No, but GSP said he'd do it.
oh, he would.
Yeah, he didn't fully say he'd do it, but he's like, I'd be interested in that fight.
Okay.
Because because GSP's like all about the challenge, and he's like, Khabib is the biggest challenge in combat sports.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, and they have like a good history too. Like Khabib, because he's like, you're my hero to Khabib. So there's one time that GSP was in Russia, and there was all these fans, and then he bought GSP a hotel, like a room, at a different place without fans, but at like a fancier hotel. And then GSP's like, oh, he's a stand-up guy, like, you know. Yeah. Yeah, no, we'll see. It'll be interesting. There'd be mad respect between those two. Okay, so actually that actually brings up the marketing aspect. You just read a tweet not too long ago about
Trump.
Yeah, Trump.
Right. Like, it's, if you're not knowledgeable of how these things work, I guess so. If you just read his tweet, you would just believe it, right? Where he said that Joe Biden constantly used the term super predator when referring to young black men, according to my sources. This is what Trump said on his tweet.
Right. So it's similar to the Dana White thing that we were talking about. How like how he's like skewing the words and like. Anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah. So if there's no actual evidence of Joe Biden saying that, he can just say that was what my sources said. He's not himself saying it as if it was factual. He's just, the sources could be wrong, but
right. It's like you have to look into it.
You can't blame me for my sources being incorrect. That's what he's saying.
Totally. And it's funny because like I was just watching the Alex Jones thing on Joe Rogan, and he was saying like a lot of things that were just like, I don't know about this. And he's like, I read it in document, and then they were pulling it up, and they were actually finding the things that he was, you know, like
some of the things. There were some things because I watched the whole thing.
I'm like halfway through it.
It's like, no, I read it in the document that the COVID thing, but it wasn't directly saying that. It could be interpreted that way, but not necessarily that's the correct interpretation either.
Totally. So that's the crazy part, because it's like if you like interpret it that way, yes, but like also what's trippy is like what happens if the thing that he's pulling up is also sourced from a fake thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's
true,
like,
that's true. Yeah, what are those sources?
Right.
So right. That's like, also a fact. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's like, how do you even trust anything?
But then also sometimes they do correct some stories. So
they do correct things, but like, who reads the corrections? Like it's like
exactly.
in the news. What do you call those? Like where they pull them back?
And they pull them back.
Like they say like, oh, that was incorrect.
Like make a correction.
Yeah. But I forgot. There's like a word for it.
I can't think of it.
I can't think of it either. But yeah. So that's trippy because like nobody reads the correction.
Yeah.
They just remember the one thing.
The headline.
I think I brought this up before, but like that was one of the marketing tactics they were like teaching us in school. Like it's like negative source bias. You just like say it, and even if it's wrong, people won't remember who said it. They'll remember the fact.
Exactly.
So it's like so like him putting that out. It's like
you'd believe it.
You would believe it, yeah.
Right? And then if other people are retweeting it or messaging and saying the same thing over and over too, right?
Yeah, totally.
Then you would more likely believe it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But even though the original source could be incorrect,
it's almost like we don't. I kind of feel like that's sort of like science too, though. It's like you keep going with it until it's proven wrong, you know. But it's almost like it's almost like globally accepted things become reality because we've accepted it to be globally accepted. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like. If everyone's saying like, oh, the earth is, a good example, the earth is flat. And then like, if everyone started believing it, we would just negate science and then just accept that the earth is flat, you know, like, yeah. But the reason why I brought up the science thing is because like, you can't prove anything. You can only disprove things. So you're just constantly like hacking away in science, you know? So it's like, it reminds me of like when Firas Zahabi would say like nothing is real, and it's like because it is all an illusion, you know. Yeah. I don't know. Like what can you trust? It's almost like the disease is too much information too, right? Because like with the Alex Jones thing, it's like, yeah, you found the article, but who gave the source to that article?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you trace it all the way back, it's like, oh, somebody just made it up. You know?
Yeah.
We might be in like a world of, I don't know, like, you know, like the internet might have screwed us all over in
I
that
think
way.
so. I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because it's like you just never know.
The machines
like,
will take over eventually.
right?
And,
Like even the fact that like Trump tweeted that, you know, and then if people just retweet it, and then they're like, oh, sources say this, but nobody thinks to like look at who the source was.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can just fool the mass of people.
Right. Yeah. When Alex Jones went into like they basically elites to want to get rid of normal people. They want everything machine or robot, like AI, basically.
Yeah.
Why would they want
that? Yeah.
Like I don't think that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense either. It's like
then
because who would be here and like
it's like who would buy the products? Who would
exactly the only reason why commerce works is because you're selling the product to the masses.
Exactly. Yeah.
I almost feel like every time I like, especially with this election. Oh, the election's coming up. It's like in 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah, but especially with this election, it makes me feel like America is like fooled by the media or something. Like it's like so it's so like media heavy. Like there is no like objectivity. It's about like groupthink. You know what I'm saying? Like very chimpanzee like.
We are.
No, totally. But like to the nth degree.
Like, what do you mean? Which kind of media are we talking about here?
So like, this for example, this Alex Jones thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's an American thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the whole world's watching the American debate. The documentaries are all from America.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix is American.
Yep.
Spotify is American.
Yep.
So everything we consume from a media standpoint comes from America because it is the breeding ground of media. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's like how can I entertain you? How can I hypnotize you?
You mean entertainment wise is coming from?
But not just that. I mean like more like hypnosis. If you look at like entertainment like hypnosis, you know, and it's like they're the biggest consumers and the producers of hypnosis.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like it's like a confused country.
Oh, I really have to get into what that means, right? Confused country,
like
because they've been
like
going
the
through this
anti-maskers, the like why are you gonna vote for Trump? It makes no sense. You know, it's like all right, like even for example, the UFC fighter that won, remember it? He was like, oh, like. Right? See, you're laughing because you know what I'm talking about. So that's what I mean, confused country. You know exactly. So he's like,
well, you don't listen to. I wouldn't say you listen to.
He's the regular person.
I get it,
and he's on a platform.
I don't know if he's a regular person.
UFC. He wasn't even. He's not even a top 10. He's just like a guy that was like, he's doing well.
Right.
And this wasn't even a UFC pay-per-view event. It was just a free event.
Yeah.
So like you have like this guy on a big platform. Everyone watches the UFC, and his interview was about why are we wearing masks? Because they can't breathe fresh oxygen.
It's the most funniest thing I heard.
Right? And I was like, bro, you have this huge platform. You let that guy say that. Now other people are gonna watch this, and they're gonna be like, he's right, because it's like,
well, his followers maybe, yeah.
See what I mean? But even if it's not just followers, it's like the one with the loudest speakerphone gets their ideas heard.
The thing is, this is what I don't understand. They're just athletes.
That's what I mean.
They're not scientists. They don't have knowledge of these sort of things.
That's what I mean about objectivity. If you're going to like them or
follow them, watch for their fights.
About your fighting ability.
That's it.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
Everyone wants to get their personal opinion out there.
That's what I mean.
But
Thank you.
You have no actual educational basis or whatever background.
There's nothing there
to talk about these.
So why are you gonna put out that false information of like they're not breathing real oxygen?
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
Yeah, why is he even talking about that?
That's what I mean. Exactly.
Stick to the fight.
But then like the UFC is the biggest platform, So, or in combat sports,
Yeah.
especially right now, because like they were the first ones during COVID to like put things out. So it's like, why is that guy giving his opinion? It's also like, so why did Trump get elected? You know what I mean? It's like, what political foundation do you have there? You know? I mean, admittedly, even for myself, like when he was going up with it, I was like, it would be so ridiculous if he won. Like, that would be a crazy world. Like, what is that going to look like with a reality TV star winning?
Yeah.
And then we saw, like, oh, it looks exactly like we thought it would look. You know what I mean? So it's like, so that's what I mean. Like, that's what I mean about, like, you have the biggest stage with the biggest confused people because they're all obsessed about, like, being famous.
Yeah, he's really convinced. I'm talking about Trump. Really convinced people because he keeps using that term "fake news."
Exactly.
Anything, even if it's factual, people will view it as his supporters will view it as fake.
Totally.
Even if it is true.
But you know what's weird about that? Like, so even people in high positions of power, they understand that the media is an illusion. So like Dana White was saying, like, oh, I read this thing, but you can't trust things you read. And I was like, exactly. So because you're on the world stage of like media manipulation, hypnosis, and it's like that you're peddling out hypnosis. Do you remember Devil May Cry, the video game?
I never played it, though.
Okay, so I didn't either, but the game was about how like the demons have taken over the world.
Okay.
In a way that like all the advertising, like if you go watch it's a DMC, if you want to go check this out on your own, type in Devil May Cry DMC trailer, and then in that it talks about how like the world has been run by like demons who are using illusions to like confuse us, poison our bodies, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, but this is a societal, like you're dissecting society.
Yeah.
Like the video game is like trying to tell you a truth about the world. Yeah. And like you can really see it.
Yeah. But then there's also a portion of people that actually believe that the people who are running the world are demons.
That's like the what do you call those? The oh man, the lizard people.
Yeah.
So it's like,
that's right. Yeah.
What? Like, how does it even? Well, I actually looked into this before. So the lizard people were from Mars.
Okay.
And then they used to have
yeah.
Kid you not? People literally believe this. So like they lived on Mars. They had a whole society. Mars was going to be destroyed. So then they teleported to Earth. Okay. But there was like the good people, which were like the ones we confuse with like gods of Olympus. And then there are the bad people, which are the lizard people who also try and take over the world. So it's this like giant battle between like the angels and the devils, or like the lizard people and like the ancient Greek gods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, does that really make sense?
Is that why Martian Manhunter is green?
Maybe.
Is he a lizard person?
Maybe that's what it is. A lizard person. Yeah, maybe they knew. The creators that they're like, oh, Martians are lizard people, so we're gonna put them. You know what I mean? It's like it's weird. Yeah. It's like.
But we've created some crazy stories. I mean,
it's entertaining though. I mean, there's a reason why.
No. But
we love
I'm
watching
saying
politics.
In many things, in religion and aspect, these are all like stories or brilliant stories that people get into and believe, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Like if you just look at religion itself. Yeah. That was.
But we run off stories, I guess.
We do run off stories. Yeah. Your whole your entire life is a narrative, and it's like, what do you believe as being the truth? But it's funny that you say that, because like being indoctrinated in religion, you're like, you think that's how the world is, and then you start to break away from it, and you're like, oh no, we've been here telling stories forever. I do believe in like ancient civilizations though, like, because there's like evidence for that. It's not like
I don't think that's not anything. I think that's very evidence based. That's a different thing.
Yeah, we're finding stuff for it, so it's like you can't just be like, but to attach a narrative that's like, that's where the UFOs are from.
Yeah, see that's yeah.
I don't know about all that. like I just read Chasing Shadows, the Secret Machines, Tom DeLonge's book, because they were saying like during the whole alien thing, when they were like dropping UFO footage, everyone kept saying like, oh, Tom DeLonge's book, like, you know, it's really,
Right.
it's like has the truth in it or something.
Mhm,
So I read it and it's like, it makes sense. It's like, so what they did is he tied it economically. So, all right, what he's saying is like, these are all truths. He's just putting it as a fiction because people can't accept the reality.
Right.
So it's a story. But
Okay.
if you read it, it's actually like everything that happened there is like a factual thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what he was saying is like USA has like this like advanced technology, and I was reading them like, okay, that makes sense. But then at the end of the book, it's like, but you find out that they got this advanced technology from ancient aliens who we now believe to be Greek gods, but they came here, dropped off their tech, and they left.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how do you corroborate that?
Right.
Yeah, I even read Zachariah Sitchin's The 12th Planet. It's like the alien Bible. I had to like stop reading that because it was like, it was so unfounded. Like he was just writing stuff and I was like, there was no source material. So it's like, how do you know that's real? You know, it's just coming out of some dude's head.
So when did they come to America in Tom DeLonge's thing?
In the aliens?
Yeah.
No, eons ago. So this is
Eons
it's like
ago.
it's like remnants of that ancient alien thing. Like I
Technology?
guess yeah, and then USA found it, and then now they're like trying to reverse
So where
engineer
was
it to
it?
create. I don't know. He didn't say that part.
Mm.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's like it also makes you think of like Scientology. That was started in America too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So what was that based off of? That was like the guy L. Ron Hubbard,
Who's this?
who's a fiction writer.
Yeah.
It was like, come on, bro.
Non-fiction writer
Or like even Mormons.
or fiction writer.
Mormons is American too, right?
Mm-hmm. Started in America. Yeah.
So
Jesus came to America.
Yeah.
That's
So
their story.
he
Right?
believed that he could read the tablets that were deciphered. Like
Right.
God gave him the ability to read tablets that only he could read,
Mm-hmm.
and then he told other people like, this is the truth behind.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And Jesus came to Utah. That's where
right. So come on, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's so unfounded. It's like the country of hypnosis, you know? Yeah.
But that was everywhere.
But they're the world stage, is what I mean.
Well,
Like,
because they have
everyone's-
all the eyes on them.
That's what I mean. So like the
I think
whole
if it
world
goes to other countries, it'd be the same thing. Like if other countries became more like we're the powerful.
Oh, you'd see like their illusions.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I could
It's
see
just
that.
because they are the powerful one. Everyone has an eye on them, right?
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. True. Because I'm sure like other countries have their own like baggage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe this is just how we live as a species. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird. But that brings us to what was that documentary?
Yeah.
Totally Under Control. So that is like, speaking of illusions, so it's like they basically just kept pushing if you haven't seen it, you should definitely go check it out. It's on Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. So basically it's like what happened with Trump's response to the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
And it was pretty bad. Like it was just like disinformation. Like all of it was just like confusion running around, you know, like he didn't want to lose face, so he's like, okay, our country's still strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
Or it's not like they just weren't equipped or knowledgeable enough to understand how to deal with these sort of things.
no, but
Right.
remember the thing with like the test would work if you just remove that one piece,
Yeah, those are some bureaucracy stuff.
but they didn't want to remove the
I
piece.
don't understand, all the underlying things of why that didn't
Yeah.
change so fast. But they were really comparing it to South Korea.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So they were basically they both got the same time when someone was positive in the country,
Mhm.
and how South Korea dealt with it and how America dealt with it. That we're comparing the two.
Because South Korea was the first one to like do it really well, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was like how they responded to the virus
Mhm.
versus how did America respond to the virus when America should be at the top of their game when they weren't, basically.
Yeah, totally. But it's because you're running with a president who's like on illusions again.
Mhm.
You know, remember even one of the main parts of that was like when Elon Musk tweeted that thing about remdesivir,
Yeah.
and then that caught fire, and then
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
like, "Oh, remdesivir," and then like even Trump was like, "Yeah, I'm on it right now," and like, it's like,
Yeah.
why are you like? I love Elon Musk, but like you're also not a medical doctor.
No, he's not. All he said was look into. That's all he's saying.
But see how the media catches on, the illusion catches on.
Exactly. Yeah.
and
I
then
think he
it's
should be
like,
more careful with.
totally,
with that kind of
yeah,
thing.
for sure. But then who
Either he
made it?
should have talked to other medical things first before doing anything.
Right. But I mean, like, think of it as like a business person. You know, he's losing money.
Yep.
So he's trying to open as quick.
He's
as
trying
he
to
can.
find ways to what's the best way we can solve this so we can come back to work.
Totally. But then who blew it out of proportion? The president. Right? So
Yeah.
it was like, how did that work? You
Yeah.
know, like, and then all the studies were saying like it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
You know, we actually have like scientific. You know,
There's no correlation to it helping you.
but then here's the crazy part. Then you just go like, oh, the science is fake. It's run by
Yeah.
like that was the other thing too that like I found kind of weird, like with Joe Rogan and Alex Jones, that they're like, why does Bill Gates want to suddenly be a medical philanthropist? But it's like he's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Like when they said it, it's like, well, you should be on computers. It's like, no, but his whole foundation. But then it's like, oh, but then you're backed by these like corporations that have like evil bidding, and it's like, oh my gosh, we can't win. So it's like, you know what I mean? So like the news is fake, science is fake. It's like the news is real, science is real. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
I don't know. It's weird.
The internet has created some interesting situations.
Because then anybody can just pull up a study and read it, but it's like,
Yeah.
and they're like, no, see, it's or like there's some correlation with like a vitamin D3, and then
Yeah.
and helping with COVID,
Right.
right? But then like then you see these,
Well, yeah, I read that too.
oh yeah,
But then my dad brought up, well, in India they have lots of sun.
true, yeah.
So
But
does
how
it
they have
really-
COVID,
Exactly.
yeah.
So then that's where it kind of like breaks down.
It totally, and like those Facebook like things were like even my dad was doing this too, like having like a UV light.
Just to interject here, because
Yeah.
of course the people. Okay, so we know that the people who are mostly getting it are low income people, right?
Yeah.
Generally, they are black, Hispanic,
Mhm.
like the minority. They will have a low vitamin D because we don't get as much sun in this part of the world. You know,
Oh,
in
so
Western
it's
nations. So
correlation, not
Are you,
causation.
exactly. I
Ah.
think that's what it could be that.
Actually, that makes sense. Yeah, true. It is just correlated because how come Asian countries have it then? They have lots of vitamin D.
Yeah.
See, like there you go again. It's like,
But
what do you
again,
believe?
these are not like foolproof. They're not saying that this is going to cure you from COVID. They're not saying that. They're just
Yeah.
pointing out a certain correlation it's not necessarily a causation.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
yeah, totally. And Jamie, Joe Rogan's producer, got it, and then he
Yeah.
kicked it in one day, and now they're
Yeah.
all on the whole like, oh, COVID's not that bad. It's like, oh, you're gonna put that out there, and then like,
Right.
what about the 1 million people that have already died?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, ooh,
Like per capita wise, America did do one of the worst jobs of dealing with this because they, at 350 million people, they had 9 million cases now.
yeah.
And India, who's now just coming to second place with 8 million cases, they have 1 billion people.
Yeah, so relative.
So
yeah.
they did really,
relatively,
really bad
yeah.
at handling this, and they're at the top.
Yeah,
And
that
over
sucks.
200,000 deaths. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna play itself out in the end. I think if it was like, I just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was like visibly worse, like if it's like, the thing is like you look like you're fine. You could have COVID and you look like you're fine. So it's like people, they downplay it. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
like with the Spanish flu, like they were bleeding or something, right?
Yeah, you could visually see.
So it's like, oh, this is bad.
Bad
you know?
stuff,
It's
yeah.
all about the optics. What were we saying?
Yeah.
Before.
I think last week or the week before. Yeah, just the way visuals, like how it.
Yeah, the
Like,
optics weren't good for Trump.
The optics was not good. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it reminds me of also like they didn't want to show images. I think it was during the Bush administration. They didn't want to show the images of all the soldiers coming back in those caskets with the American flags on. That does not look like a good sign. That means you're not winning that war.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's another. It just reminds me of that. That's kind of.
Or like even the Chicago 7 that we watched.
Yeah.
And it's like that one too was like overt racism, like from the judge, and it's like nobody like they're running off the illusion still, you know, that it wasn't racist. Like, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess we all don't know what the right thing to do is, except to like follow, like socially accept. Here's the thing. It's like, yeah, you might not agree with masks. Yeah, you might not agree with the economic shutdown, but it's like, but those are what's in place, and you should do your best. Like it's like with a UFC fighter, it's like you're not a scientist.
Yeah,
you're not a politician.
Yeah,
you're just a person that doesn't see it, and then because it's not affecting you. You know, like what happens if his mom got COVID and she died? Would the story change?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why it's so frustrating, because it's like you have to look at it aggregately, you know? Like just do it within the rules. Like if you want to train, go train, but like follow the guidelines, you know? But don't like go on a platform and say like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Without having any kind of background in that education or like understanding how these things
if
work.
all the scientific experts say it's real, how are you not going to believe it?
Yeah,
it's the global elites.
Yeah,
trying
that's
to control,
the thing,
right?
they're bringing to. Yeah, but like scientists are not global elites.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like doing their job.
Yeah,
and I think that's one of the things that Alex Jones brought up too, is like population control. Yeah. Like,
but who's in charge of that?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what I mean. It's like that just doesn't make sense. But then you're gonna hear people who are gonna
but a country wants to have more population. They want to have more tax dollars.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. Yeah, totally.
So I don't understand that. Like, who population control?
I find it weird that like, not weird, but like it's so funny how polarizing it is that like you and I are talking about this in support of what they're doing, because I mean we're just handing it over to a higher power. We don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay, since we don't know, we're just going to trust that you guys do know. You know, unless it's overtly wrong. Like if all the scientists are saying like this doesn't work, you know.
Yeah, but I don't think any politician wants to deal with that. Like wants to go in that direction. Why would they go against if the scientists are wrong and there's a bunch of other scientists saying that no, this is or like is saying like what we're doing is wrong. A politician like also wants to win again. Like it doesn't look good to follow wrong choices.
Yeah, totally.
Wrong decisions or whatever.
Well, unless you're the current president. Right. But so what I mean is like it's
I mean, yeah, okay, fine. But like I'm thinking about it like locally wise here. Like it doesn't look good for Doug Ford to keep closing these things down, right?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't look good for him.
No.
But he knows that.
Science.
But he's following the science.
Yeah, totally. I agree. So what I mean about polarizing is like if you're listening to this, you probably are wearing a mask. You know, but it's because there's like two fields of thought, you know?
Yeah. I still think it's the majority of people are still following the rules.
Yeah, I know, totally.
Majority of the people.
But then there's those outliers that
them.
make no sense to me.
Yeah.
I even like tested it out. I was like, oh, let me put like a little poll on my Instagram, and then this one person voted like no mask, and I was like, what? And I looked at his profile, I'm like, yeah. You would say no mask. You know what I mean? It's like you just know certain. Even the person that.
But then
lives
also
in
on the internet, though, you also do want to troll. Like that's another.
Okay, maybe true, or maybe he's just trolling me. Okay, but like, it's weird how like there's a certain type of person that falls under the no mask category, and then the no mask also falls under like other things. You can kind of call those things like you're
Right,
probably
yeah.
a supporter of the current president.
Yeah,
You know, something
MAGA,
like yeah,
yeah, all
exactly. You
that
know what I
kind of
mean?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Actually,
became political. It became very
it's
politicized.
weird.
I think they mention. I think they mentioned that in the under control thing. It was
Yeah,
people who were wearing masks, people who were not wearing masks. You can tell who's the Democrat, who's the Republican. It's like
totally. Yeah,
it became very political.
yeah,
For
totally.
some
It was weird,
Anyways,
but it's
yeah.
like, but that's what I don't get. It's like in Asian countries, it's not political. It's
No, it's
the
more
hypnosis.
about common decency.
That's
It's
what
a
I mean.
decency thing.
But that's what's so frustrating because it's like
Like why does South Korea have
hypnosis.
it? Yeah, exactly. Why does South Korea have it under control? Taiwan has it under control. Everybody's following those guidelines, just wearing a mask.
And masks aren't politicized there. It's just like no, just do it because it's kinder to your fellow
Yeah,
human being.
yeah,
You know, regardless if you believe it or don't believe it, it's like we don't need to get into this. Like if it's like if it's like okay, I don't believe in the law, like
mm-hmm.
like so then it's like okay, fine, but do you at least want to be kind to another human being?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like which level are you gonna hit them at?
Yeah.
You know, then those people that don't do it, it's like you just see like the selfishness there, like the ignorance. You
Mhm.
know, I like to say, yeah. There's so many like videos on social media of like people not wearing them, and you're just like, that's so annoying.
Yeah, that's why the numbers go up, and yeah.
There's if you follow Six Buzz, it's so funny. They're like, meanwhile in Mississauga, and they showed like a house party, and I was like, oh, bro, like,
Yeah.
but for Halloween.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
Yeah, it's so funny. You're like, well,
Yeah.
nobody cares, or like the small majority don't care.
Yeah, or they feel like
No, where's it
they
loud
can risk
majority?
it
It's the
from-
loud majority.
the loud,
No,
yeah.
loud minority.
The loud minority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Even like this old person down the hall from us, never wearing one. I'm just like,
I don't.
if anyone's gonna get it, you're gonna get it, bro. So why are you not wearing one?
Yeah, or it's not like anyone can get it. It's like if you get it, it's gonna be worse for you.
Yeah,
So.
but she's like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Final plea: just wear a mask. Yeah,
It's not like you're wearing it everywhere. It's only in areas where it's common places, right? Like grocery stores, the malls. Outside, you don't have to wear the mask.
or like the faster we wear a mask, the faster you won't have to wear a mask,
That's true too.
right?
Or that's that. I think that's Joe Biden's play is if we all are wearing masks, we can open up earlier.
Yeah,
I think that's the way to save the economy here.
but you know what it is too, though. It's like civil liberties. That's what that's gonna go on. They're like, that's why I want to keep my guns, and that's why I want to not wear a
Yeah,
mask.
that's the thing with America, man. It's really
land of the free, right?
home of the brave.
Yeah. Even if the bravery is following ignorance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think I was gonna get into like police reform because like Henry Gracie. I'll just say it really quickly.
Yeah, I think we should.
All right. So this is the first one that I was like, okay. So Henry Gracie, Team Blue, right? He always said Team Blue, and people who like people are like, oh, like, you know, defund or abolish the police. It's like, yeah, but you have no good strategy. And then he posted this long video. It's like a plea. It's like, no, let's just retrain them, you know, because he's actually in that field of like, he actually works with like,
Right.
like the U.S. Army police officers. He works with like the, you know,
Mm-hmm.
those combatives people. And he teaches them like Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. And his plea was like, let's just train the cops. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that is a great solution.
Right.
And he was presenting like science and like
Mm-hmm.
economics, and like he was using everything that's an obstacle,
Yeah.
and showing a way to overcome the obstacle.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a well thought out solution.
Right. I think
But again, he's an expert, right? So it's like you're
Right.
actually in that field. You're surrounded by these people.
Yeah.
They're telling you what the issue is.
Mm-hmm.
So like, let's find a solution.
Yeah.
Unlike, wait, sorry, I just want to finish this.
Sure.
Unlike those people who like remember that person who's like, oh, I'm all about like defund and abolish the police. And I was like, what's the stance? And they're like, I don't know. So I'm like, well, then why are you for it?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I think yes, that is one of many forms of reform that the police may need to go through. For like that is one method, or that is one of many methods, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, like maybe cops, like what I hear is like when they say defund or other things, it's like putting the money into other areas where, like, do you need the cops, or like maybe training the cops how to deal with the person who's mentally unstable, right?
Yeah.
So those are different kind of training, and they don't have that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Like hand-to-hand combat training is 4 hours per year.
Right.
So it's like,
yeah, but like sometimes there are like other behavioral analysts or behavior like people who are more equipped to deal with those types of people.
True. Yeah.
Like versus needing a cop to do that.
Oh, okay. So
that's what
like
I'm
reallocating funds.
Yeah, right. I think that was that's what sane people were saying when they say reform or defund the police. That's what they're talking about. But that is optics again. That is the wrong messaging when you use the word defund the police.
Yeah, totally. I agree. And like, it's weird because like it even hit like Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it started in the U.S. and like admittedly we have our own problems, but like it's like when it started hitting here, it's like like America has so much control over.
It's not just. I think it affected Western nations.
Yeah,
like it happened in UK.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
I saw those protests there. They were also like pulling down these people who were like statues of people who started the slave trade. Like,
but I feel like that's a different issue though.
But it was all started from the whole Black Lives Matter to defund the police. That's how it's still connected to that.
Right. Okay. I get
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like it spread.
Yeah, totally.
I wouldn't say the world. I would say Western nations.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like so like in Japan, for example, you have to be, I think, a 2nd degree black belt in judo to become a police officer.
Right.
So like what Henry Gracie's proposing isn't out of the ordinary. He's just saying, so what his proposition is train 1 hour per week jiu-jitsu, because that's enough to like at least understand confrontation at like a combative level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like if you do it 4 hours, so like let's say you have 4 hours a year of training, and then somebody tries to fight you, what are you gonna do? You're gonna use your weapon because you're like, I don't know how to wrestle you to the ground.
Yeah.
And what's crazy too is he showed like videos, because like police officers will send him videos. He showed videos of people who were untrained, and like this one guy had like he had like an arm guillotine, right? The police officer.
Yeah.
And like it looked like, because he wasn't trained, he just got that luckily. But then the assailant just like overpowered him. But it's like, but you were in a perfect position, but you just didn't know where to go from there.
Right.
But if you had jiu-jitsu training, you'd know how to hold them down, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that retraining on certain things, how to deal with. Yeah, I agree with this.
Yeah. That's weird.
But it's like, I agree with all that. I think any kind of reform is good.
And what they're saying is like Navy SEALs. Like you look at a police officer and you think that they're like a Navy SEAL. They should be, because like they're protecting your freedom, right, on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. But he was saying like they're nowhere comparable.
No,
like because Navy SEAL get so much training.
Yeah.
But like police officers get like nothing. You know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of change that needs to happen. I feel like 2020 is like a really good. Like, I think we're gonna look back on this and be like, hindsight's 2020. Like, I think that'll be the theme.
It really means something.
You know, it'll and then it's like that's when we started to really take a look at ourselves.
Yeah.
I feel like in the history books, like later on,
right.
Like obviously not now. We're living through it. It's like people didn't know they were in the Renaissance until like hundreds of years later, and we wrote textbooks called the Renaissance. And we're like, oh, this is the Renaissance period.
Right. Oh, I totally agree with that. I think that might. I think that's something that will be put in the history books too. Like it was so many things that are happening now
that we're like reflecting on it. You know, even though like COVID's like arguably a bad thing, it's really giving us time to pause and be like, what's going on here? Yeah.
Yeah. Other issues are also coming to light. That's
totally. Yeah. It's funny. I like keep wavering back and forth between like being optimistic and pessimistic about the future, but I'm kind of optimistic right now.
Yeah.
But then that could change in next week's podcast. I'm like, oh, everything, like, you know, because of the election, right?
I think it depends. I think generally most things generally we learn from things, and I think that's kind of
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
what happens. That's happened from the like history wise.
Well, we hope to learn from things.
Yeah. But I think we do. Or some things will change for sure. Maybe some things won't, but some other things will. We'll see.
All right, final question. Who do you think's gonna win? Before we were like, oh, before we were like, Trump's got this. He got COVID. Like, Biden's got this.
Right.
He bounced back. And now it's like, we don't know again. Actually, for us, a hobby said this. It was very funny. He's like, I was re-listening to some old podcasts, and he was saying how Trump just got COVID, and he's like, I think this is going to be a political edge for him. Even though everyone's like, oh, he got COVID, whatever. He's like, I think they're just going to pump him full of stuff. He's going to come out and be like, oh, I'm totally fine. And he's going to politicize it, and that's how he's going to win. I don't think he said he was going to win, but I think that's the strategy of winning.
Yeah.
You know, let's open it up, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, I watched a few. I mean, I've been watching a lot of his rallies.
Yeah. So what do you think?
It's going to be another close race, but I think... I don't want to really predict anyone.
Okay, well, let's do it. Then I'll move to my second question. Do you think it's the end of Western civilization if Biden wins?
No.
Do you think it's the end of Western civilization if Trump wins? We're already on a decline.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to say... I kind of feel like there's no turning back. It doesn't matter who wins. I think it's declining. Because, like, all right, Biden comes in. How are you going to fix the problem?
Yeah.
Right?
Because already
Trump stays in.
getting a bad deal right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how are you going to fix this?
Yeah.
And then, like, Trump wins. We're just going to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm optimistic about the global future, pessimistic about the Western future. I'd like to clarify that then.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Final thoughts?
I think it'll be fine.
I like that. We're just going to leave it with that. I think it'll be fine. All right. Be sure to check out zenrealclothingco.com for all of your beautiful apparel and accessories. Be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Be on the lookout for that new Zenreal. Actually, it's live right now. I just haven't promoted it. It's I forgot what I call this. Here's the party. I turned that one that you like, all those house songs.
Okay.
I made that one live. Like, I added more songs to it, and I've just been listening to it. I'm like, okay, this is good to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that new playlist. And if you're in the Port Union, Scarborough, Toronto area, be sure to check out the Port Union Bakery. Go in there, ask for Arvel, say what's up. He'll give you a hug when COVID's over.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Exactly. All right. Take it easy, Bish.
All right. Peace.
Bye.